So our next panel will provide valuable insights into branding during economic uncertainty, how to use your brand and create better and to get done more for less, which sounds great, doesn't it? Moderating this panel is Ivana Flynn, SEO Director at ComeOn Group. I'm going to welcome you guys up on stage. Give them a warm round of applause.
Yeah, I get the hot seat.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for coming and finding time to learn a little bit more about branding. I have got an amazing panel with me. You heard that I'm Ivana from ComeOn. I have been in SEO for many years and in iGaming for way too many years. But I will be just a moderator. You will hear about brand and branding from the real specialist. And I'll kindly ask my panelists to introduce themselves, please.
I guess I'll go first. I'm in the hot seat. Hi, I'm Pete. I'm the CEO of Brandwagon. We're a Malta-based creative strategic agency.
Martin, I'm a director with a brand consultancy and insight strategy called MTM, and I lead our iGaming team.
My name is Samira. I'm a founder of Content Lab, a content agency specified in the iGaming industry.
Hello, I'm Ihor. Thank you so much for inviting to this panel. It's a great pleasure to be here with these great guys, great speakers, and I'm owner a creative agency. We do really deep strategy, design, social media, everything, what we can create and do amazing, we do. Thank you so much.
So you will hear from brand specialists, creative specialists, and content people, and it all comes together how to create an amazing brand. When you think brand, you usually start to think the name, right? ComeOn, obviously, ComeOn. Or you start to think Content Lab. But brand goes deeper than that. If I tell you, I'm loving it, what is it?
McDonald's.
Exactly. Or just do it. Exactly. So it goes all the way to the slogans, and it goes all the way to the logos. That's why we have creative people here that can create your logos or create your slogans. And that's what we'll talk about. Are we doing enough of this in iGaming? Is there space to improve? Are we actually not doing it enough? If I ask you, what's the slogan for ComeOn? Anyone? No, because it's not that pushed. Our first slogan was, one hand is enough. I mean, I don't know how about you, but I don't think about gaming there. Yeah, so you see the correct slogan does a lot. And that's what we're going to be trying to tell you how to create here. Now, why is brand and branding important for your business?
Well, I don't know if I can recover after that tagline, to be honest. And maybe we can have a chat about that later. But I think...
You can help us recover from that.
I think many of us can. But we'll work on that later. No, but I think when we talk about branding, I think it's really easy to jump straight into the I'm loving it and I just do it. And that's like a fun layer of branding. But the truth is, branding is like religion. It's like it is everywhere. And I think, when we talk about branding, we need to go far deeper than what's on the outside, what's on the explicit layer. I think when we talk about brands, we need to really understand, what is this brand that we're trying to talk about? Is it, what's the brand's purpose? What's the brand's principles? What's its proposition in the market? What makes it different from everybody else? And I think that's really, really key, because when we talk about brand, it goes way beyond just getting more clicks to your site. It goes in, attracting the right talent, and we talk about employer branding. It goes, in terms of leadership and how you lead your organization in the right direction. So I think when we talk about brand, it's way deeper than that. And it's nice to hear me talk about all the fluffy stuff, but in reality, there's a big commercial value and huge shareholder value. So when we talk about building brands, we're talking about building great shareholder value, which then gets sold. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's very similar. It's that whole entity that your company represents. And when you have a coherent vision of what your brand represents, everything's easier, because your product teams, your marketing teams especially, know what they need to deliver. Mm-hmm. When it's messy, then your product teams does something, your marketing team does something else, and that's when you deliver an experience that's not joined up. And for iGaming especially, it's the only point of differentiation. I spend my life talking to players, market research, and representing what players want, the product's pretty much the same, no matter what operator you are. Why player A chooses operator B is because of the brand, and because there's an emotional resonance with that brand, and the brand has delivered on their promise, which is really key. You have to make sure that you deliver what you're saying to your players and your customers, so when they get there, the experience matches expectations.
I totally agree with that. I think from my point of view, building a business is mainly coming from building relationships with the people that you work with or that you want to work with, making sure they feel heard and that you can deliver what they are looking for. So communication in this sense for me is really key.
I want to talk more about customers. You know, our brand, every brand just has, I think, 5 seconds in Instagram time, and logotype and slogan need to introduce for 5 seconds everything what you do. That's why these important things, simple things, but really important. Because under brand, we have a lot of things like people, business, products, a lot of. But just logotype and slogan need to be clear and simple to introduce you for 5 seconds. That's why I think I agree with you guys. And
I agree. I mean, it all needs to make sense and needs to all be coherent. Good. So are we focused enough in iGaming on brand and building the brand, or are we too much about the product and we're forgetting about our brands? Anyone? I think no.
I can jump in if you want, if we're going to go linear way. I think, can you ever do enough in brand? Probably not. I think the iGaming industry is quite a young industry when you consider it. And I think there's a lot of commoditization happening in the market. And so I think there's way deeper roots that need to be grown, and the answer to that is brand. There's going to be a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening over the next couple of months and years, and I think what's going to set brands apart and what's going to get customers together is the importance that we give to brands. So I think the answer is no. There's a lot of more stuff that needs to be done. What do you
Which industries do you think does it better than gaming? Don't say all of them, but like if you can choose one, which is like industry that does it much better than us, and we can learn from it.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Nike. Nike is a super brand, but if you think about the Just Do It slogan, that's been a slogan that's been thrown around for the last 30, 35 years. So, I mean, it takes a lot of repetition. But the difference is what makes people go and pick Nike as opposed to all the hundreds of different brands out there is more than just a slogan. It's what they represent as an organization. It's all, the multitude of ads that you've seen growing up. It's from the first time you bought your first pair of Nikes and you put them on and you felt like a runner, even though you couldn't get probably, true 1K of your run. So I think, the sports industry has done it really well, but branding is everywhere. I mean, personal branding is a huge thing as well. So when we talk about leaders and being consistent in what we believe and what we say and how we do what we do.
Okay, so having an amazing product to actually brand and to market.
Yeah, but branding goes deep into the philosophy of why that brand and that product started out in the first place. I don't know, Martin, if you want to...
I mean, to answer the question directly, the answer is no. So I've only ever worked in the tech and entertainment world. So I work with big streaming companies, sports team, video gaming, and iGaming. I think about all the conversations I've had with kind of C-level execs over those years, brand comes up much less in iGaming, and that's because we're so focused on short-termism, performance marketing, and there's a lot of pressures, obviously, right, that means we're in that place, but we don't think about the long term, and we're talking about economic uncertainty. Good brands are going to thrive, bad brands are going to die. That has been the case in every sector throughout the course of history. So we need to focus a bit more long-term and understand, if you're an operator, what do I represent as a business? How can I then evidence that in my marketing, my messaging, my product, and then make sure that that filters through all the way through? And that's the only way we can deliver on it. But the short answer is no, we don't, and we should be better.
True, and there is a lot of rebranding going on, and usually when you think rebranding, people just change the logo. It's not enough, is it? Like when you're changing from casino, for example, to sportsbook, there is much more work to be done than just changing the color of your font.
Yeah.
What would be the correct steps? What would you recommend if someone is completely changing, let's say, from being first casino to being first sportsbook? What else they need to do than just changing the logo from roulette to a basketball player?
I mean, for the work that I've done, there's always two arms to it. First of all, there's being honest as a business, what you want your brand to represent, and then talking to players, your target market, and asking them what it actually represents. Because only by then can you understand, okay, what do we need to change to get to what we want? Or actually, do we need to change what we want to stand for as a brand because our players think it stands for fun and engaging, but we're operating in a completely different brand positioning space. So you've got to understand the market, and then you can really deliver on that promise.
Good.
I think it's also understanding in the regards of like a casino, what do your players really want? What are they looking for? And make sure that you're able to deliver. Like, if you're telling a customer you're gonna do A, make sure that you deliver A and don't deliver something less than that because you lose out of your customers right away and they will never return.
I wanna something, see on its situation a bit simply. When customers looking for new casino, they want to know just name, because when they make first deposit, they see just the similar games like in another casino, really similar, everything, payments, games, I don't know, messages, bonuses, everything. But if your name just like biggest Maximus Irons casino, these guys just forgot it after first deposit.
Yeah.
And you need to understand what simple things it's important on our market. Just name, make it simple and understand, and they will be work. We don't need to do really the best branding, something very, I don't know, bright, shine, creative. You need to do it really simple because we have a lot of products, really the same products, and we need just do it simpler than another, and it will be work, I think.
Can I just put in, I'm going to respectfully totally disagree with what you said. And as much as I'm sure we'll have fun if we start debating this now, and it'll probably be a bit more exciting, but respectfully, of course. I think name is critical, 100%. And that's again, focusing on the short-term goal is show me the money.
Yes.
But then again, when things go wrong, and things do go wrong sometimes, what's going to differentiate you between one gaming company and the next? What's going to change in the way your customer care deal with the problems that you have when something goes wrong with your deposits and something goes wrong with your wins? And I think that's going to be way deeper than just a great name, which is extremely important. And if anyone's looking for a new naming project, I can put my hand up and help. But it's not the point. The point is, how do you build a brand that transcends every single transaction with your customers, which aren't just based on cash? Okay, and it's about coming back to the issue. So when there's an issue, how do you fix that, and how fast do you fix that, and what's the taste that's left in your customer's mouth after that problem? Will they come back? Will they go and speak about you? Will they talk about you, or will they just go raving about you on the internet and say, "Oh shit, that was"?
Yeah.
And I think that transcends just naming and just design and just that. I mean, that's really important, of course.
No, it's really just part of.
It's a very big part of it, but it goes down deeper than that. It's what is the brand promising, and how does that meet the customers where they are or where they're going, and even if they don't know that they're going in that direction yet.
True. I think what Ihor is trying to say is that you need to have a catchy name.
For sure.
So we have amazing name. We have ComeOn and Get Lucky. I mean, our company is very creative. But yeah, good name. I mean, short, I think if you have a very confusing long name, it might get a little bit difficult to remember or even type, And when it comes to localization for the brand, do you prefer local brands or global brands like Betsson? Everybody knows Betsson everywhere, but should we have a brand that is more, let's say, Finnish, Suomi Casino, for example, or something more Swedish, Snabbare? I'm not selling our brands here at all. Well, it's about branding, so Suomi.
What's the point? No?
I mean, it's quite a simple, like, what do players want? They want localization. So even if you are a Flutter and Entain and you've got these huge brands that operate across huge markets, if you take the time to understand the different dynamics in that market, the different motivations, the different needs, the different behaviors of players, and then deliver on that, then it's going to work. It's quite simple. It's all about understanding players and adapting your offers, your marketing, your product to those behaviors. because then ultimately that's going to be the proof point of whether players like it and stay with it or go to the local operator who can uniquely deliver to those needs.
Yes, I agree, but in the end, what Ihor said is a world of sameness, right? We all have the same games. We copy each other bonuses. We copy each other color schemes. So how do you stand out in the world of sameness? I mean, I think that's our problem. That's why we created this panel in the first place to
exactly. And I think
create the special extra.
It's looking for that point of difference, which might be name or localization or design, but there's some markets which actually prefer more globalized brands. So I think there is, just meeting your customers where they're at and giving them what they need, but also building something which is a bit deeper than that. And I think when we talk about brands, I think we also need to think about sort of the organization as a whole. Like if you want to build great brands and if you want to build great, great organizations, you need to be able to attract the right people, no?
And
to attract the right people, it's about employee branding as well. And it's those people that are going to build, better brands fundamentally. So I don't think it's such a simple answer. It's way deeper than that. And I know it's like a bit wishy-washy of me to just go around in circles. These branding people, that's what they do sometimes. But yeah, the questions are much harder to ask than just that.
True. I mean, attracting talent, it's a problem, especially on this small island. So I know we are not an HR panel, but how do you do it through branding? What would be your 2 cents to that?
Well, again, I think it is, what's going to motivate your people, which goes beyond just cash and remuneration packages. And I think it's, everybody wants to work for good leaders. Everybody wants to work for people who they feel they respect and respect them back. Everybody wants to work for people who want the best for them and wants them to grow and move on further. And that's a big thing about how we develop our organizations. That is branding as well. And that's a reflection into what we do even with our customers as well. So I think we need to find that point of difference. What's going to make us, not successful for the next year or 2, but it's going to make us successful for the next 10 or 15 years. And that's going to be our people. And absolutely. In an industry where people move, quite frequently, what's going to make them stay because they actually want to, not just because you pay them a little bit more.
True. I don't think the money is the most important thing anymore, because you need to have the life-work balance. You need to have a company that respects you and that you respect.
Yeah,
I know it. I'm a leader. I have my team, and without them, we would be nowhere. So I've got lucky hiring people.
Yeah, but clearly you've got something which attracts people because you've got good leadership skills. Probably your principles are really, really clear, and people like clarity. People want to know where they stand in an organization. People want to know what a business stands for, what a brand stands for. And it's the same with our customers. So what's your proposition to the market? Whether it's a casino or whether it's an employer brand, you've got to make it really, really clear. What do you believe in, and why should people believe in you?
True. I think sometimes the customer branding and the employee branding are a little bit detached, because we tell something internally what we do, and then outside we have different values. I think some companies do it very cleverly, like Betsson, for example. The branding goes both ways, right? We aim high, one Betsson, we play fair. I was in Betsson. Execution is everything. And they do it both for the internal and external. But I think lots of other companies have it detached. Do you have any good example of how to bring this together without copying Betsson that has been here forever?
I mean, I think it all comes down, regardless in what kind of situation you are, talk to your employees, talk to your team, talk to your customers, talk to whoever you need in order to make your business successful. Because if you build a relationship with your employees, they feel comfortable also sharing things with you, and they feel like they've been heard. And I think most people are looking to be heard.
I agree. Yeah. I agree, in and out. I mean, that's why we come to conferences, to meet people face to face and to build a relationship. It's completely different to work with people I actually know. I work with some of them. Spoiler alert.
Actually, I agree. Marketing starts with analytics. Now I work start working with Africa market, and I want to go to Africa and speak with customers, see these customers, how it's feeling, because it's really different. Africa and Malta, I don't know, and London, too difficult.
It's very different, yeah.
And this casino from Africa has something really interesting, SMS casino. You can pay from SMS, you can play in SMS, so it's understandable for us, but you need to buy in Africa this phone without internet, because for them, internet, it's only YouTube, Twitter and something else, not Google. Google, it's not internet. So it's really different. We can, our life is always Google, yes? Google, 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 Google.
That's why I have a job, yeah.
Yes. So SEO can't work there in the Africa. So we need to find something another, really something new for African people.
That's true, actually. They're very based on communities. That's very true. They never hire SEOs. Now I understand why. Always wondered. Thank you for that answer. Now I will ask you, do you have any questions for our specialists? Something that maybe you want to know how to do better? Yes?
What's the coolest iGaming B2C brand?
I don't think there is a wrong answer here.
Yeah, I have some answer. I work with Parimatch and Pinup. In our market, it's I think the best branding brand casino in our world. I don't know because I don't know. You know Parimatch? I think they're everywhere. So that's why it's really cool. They have a lot of famous people who works with them.
Yeah,
a really interesting branding slogan also.
What's their slogan?
I know just in Ukraine.
Ah, okay. Just say it in Ukrainian. Maybe I'll understand.
I forgot. Sorry.
It's very catchy that you forgot. Amazing. Yeah. We want slogans like
Ukrainian language. Sorry.
What about the other?
Yeah. We all need to answer.
Yeah, I am.
Josh is not going to let
For
it
me,
go.
it's like I'm not going to burn my hands on that one. My customers are all B2C or B2B, so I'm not going to choose one.
Yeah, I'm on the same fence. I'm not going to
They're
risk
very
answering that.
diplomatic.
Don't
They are
wanna
not
burn.
like you. They are not.
I don't mind jumping in.
Go
Well, I
on.
agree, Parimatch, they went very hard on UFC, and it's like that's where we're going, and that's a good example of a company who's like, this is the type of better that we want. We're going to attract this talent, and we're going to deliver on it. In the UK, it's very easy to say companies like Paddy Power, but it's true. Like they went somewhere very, very different, and it was offbeat, and it was risky, and it's not for everyone, but they deliver it every single time you interact with them. And we're talking about customer experience. Their customer experience delivers on that quirkiness and funniness, and they push the boundaries, and they don't care. And it's a very good example of a brand that's amazing. You work for Paddy Power? No.
No. Any more questions, Josh? Any more questions? Anyone? I mean, now is your time to pick their brains. You still have a few seconds, or minutes even. Yes, we have microphone. We have microphone.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
You know, when you build a vision for a brand, right, it's always a challenge to actually present it and get it approved. What would be your top tips to actually get it through?
Good.
So when we work with our customers, I think the simple secret is to just work really closely with your customers. So if this is an internal vision that you're working on, just make sure that the stakeholders are being, brought along the journey with you. That you're asking the questions that you're asking yourself, so you're also asking it to them. And you really phase it out into very, very simple steps, so that you go along on that conversation, on that journey to decide where you're going, kind of together, but you act as a curator of where the business is going to go. And I feel that when you get, to the end, that vision should not be a big surprise. Now, I think when we're working on vision projects, you need to be really, really careful that you're not just coming up with something that's just going to be super exciting in that board meeting, but you're not going to be able to deliver on. Do something that you can actually achieve that makes you different, but that you really feel strongly about. Branding is not, it's complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the simpler brands, the simpler journeys, and the ones that are most consistent are the ones that actually ring true and are the most successful. So just stick to that.
Yeah.
That's my tip.
Communicate always. It's just what it comes down to. Whatever business you are having, just make sure that you understand what your clients want from you and ask for feedback. And also, I think bear in mind that you will maybe not do it perfect from the first time. And that is okay. If you build that relationship, you can make it better, communicate, and integrate this feedback in next projects.
I have a good answer for it. We need to do always simple things. And really simple things in marketing, it's A/B test. You do one side, what you want some holder, Okay, and what do you think want customers? Okay, and something else. Put in landings and just going to traffic to this landing. That's all. And see.
Yeah, data will tell you, apparently.
It's simple things.
Good,
Always
fantastic.
work.
We have one last minute, so I will ask my panelists about the one advice you should actually remember and take away with you. So what would be the most important thing you want our audience to remember from today's panel?
I think you said it before.
I can start it now. You need always Sorry.
Self-starting person.
You need always to know who is your customer. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can say relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's been on a repeat, I think, for me. But yeah, also know your customers, know what they want,
Yes.
and build from there. You don't need a million customers. You need a few customers and understand what they want, and then you grow further.
Okay. Martin, sorry, now it's your turn. I rudely jump in there.
That's okay. I mean, it kind of echoes, Igor, what you're saying. It's know your customers and deliver on your promises, and understand who your players are, and build your brand around what
Fantastic.
they want.
For me, it would be stay honest, but like a 5-year-old child asking why 15 times. Just make sure that you've really asked yourself that why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So you can't answer the same question with a different answer. I think that's it. Stay honest to the point where you're trying to go, and that's clear then to your customers, to your stakeholders, to your employees, and to yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Round of applause for my panelists. Thank you.